The challenge with the grid today is largely one of transportation, that we don't have the means of getting power from the places where it's cheapest to generate it, which is where we have abundant natural renewable resources, to the places where people actually live and will consume them. And so it's really an issue of getting power from A to B. The fact that local governments have been in charge of the local electricity system has meant that any new company trying to get in and say move power across multiple states has had to deal individually with each of the jurisdictions that they cross, and each of those jurisdictions has competing interests that isn't exactly aligned with moving power across their territory on potentially unsightly transmission lines, but not really getting anything out of it. So I have a couple of recommendations. The first one, the sort of straightforward, easiest one in terms of solving the problem, but not necessarily the easiest one for enacting, requires new legislation to make the federal government the primary venue for siting and permitting transmission lines in the same way that they do for pipelines. Without an act of Congress, there are certain ways that the federal government can play a more active role in transmission line siting. First, the Department of Energy can designate transmission corridors that, if states fail to act, they have the ability to take over the permitting process. One way that the federal government might be able to encourage transmission lines without as much opposition is to encourage the use and reuse of existing rights of way. These recommendations will help lead us towards a nationwide grid that connects the places that are really good at generating power with the places that they're actually going to consume them. And in doing so, we allow the generators to get the top dollar that they can for their generation, so they need fewer subsidies. And we also have population centers reduce the price of electricity in those areas, so you actually have households getting more power for less.